Hi guys, welcome to AndroGuider. So in this video, we will be checking out Octo-OS. So this ROM is based on Android 7.1.2 Nougat. This is the latest weekly build of the ROM for the Redmi Note 3. The ROM comes in with the latest security patches. The build date of the ROM is 28th of July, and the SC Linux status of the stock kernel is enforcing. The developer options are not enabled by default, so you can enable them by tapping multiple times on the build number. So first up, we have got the power menu settings. So from here in, you can enable various options in the power menu. I will enable all of them, and this is how the power menu looks like. So plenty of options in here. Next up, we have got the privacy settings. So herein you can find privacy guard and protected apps. I had done a separate tutorial on privacy guard wherein I had showcased on how you can use privacy guard as a tool to combat malicious apps, as well as on how you can configure it to save up on your battery life. I'll be having a link to that tutorial down below in the description box, so you can check that out. Then the ROM has its own OTA updater. You can set the frequency on when should it check for updates, and you can view the change log and download the latest build of the ROM as well. Then we have got the system profile settings. So this is something which is present in LineageOS by default. And since Octo-OS is based on LineageOS, this setting is included in the ROM. I'll be having a link down below in the description box for my review on LineageOS. So in case you want to know more about on how to configure the various profiles, you can check that tutorial out. And in the end, we have got the wake lock blocker. So again, as this pop-up box states, you have to proceed with caution here. And before you proceed with anything, I will advise you guys to go ahead and do an Android backup, so that in case you run into any troubles, you can always restore that backup. And it's just always advisable to be on the safer side of things. So again, an Android backup is definitely recommended before you tweak in anything from in here. um, then we have got the lock screen settings. So if you want to show the lock screen battery info such as the current and the voltage, then you can check in this option. Then we have got media cover art, display music visualizers, quick unlock, and in the end you can tweak the bottom lock screen shortcuts. Then we have got the status bar settings. Double tap to sleep is present in here. And then we have got some battery settings. You can configure how the battery icon should look like. This is the portrait icon. This is the landscape. This is the circle one. This is the solid icon. This is the text icon. And in the end, if you just want to hide the battery symbol, you can do that. And you can also show the battery percentage. Notifications. You can show notification count, force expanded notifications, disable immersive mode messages, power notification controls is present in here as well. And then you can enable or disable the heads up notification using the switch. Notification ticker, you can configure that. And then we have got the 3 breathing notifications: missed call, voicemail, and SMS. Clock and date settings. So you can configure the position of the clock, right, center, or left, AM PM style if you want to. This is the normal one, and this is the small one. Similarly, we have got font styles for the date. Then under date styles, this is the normal one. Then we have got the lowercase one, and this is the uppercase one. You can configure the position of the date, left of time or right of time. There are multiple date formats you can choose from. So these are the options which we have. Then we have got the font settings. You can configure the font of the clock. Again, a bunch of options in here. And in the end, you can configure the font size as well. Then we have got the network traffic indicators. So you can enable outgoing, incoming, or both the data rate exchanges. You can configure the display unit, bits per second or bytes per second, update interval, auto hide the network arrows when there is no data exchange going on. You can just hide the arrows as well. And then if you configure if you wish if you enable the option to auto hide the network traffic indicators, then you can configure the inactivity threshold. And if you want to magnify the text in the in the traffic indicators, then you can do that. Again, I haven't seen the last option of magnifying the traffic indicators in many ROMs. In fact, Octo-OS is the only ROM in which I have seen this option. So it's great to have this. um, uh, well, I don't know why it's not uh, okay. So now you can actually see that the text has been magnified, the text size has been magnified. But uh, again, as you can make out, this feature is not working spontaneously. So maybe a reboot will fix that. um, but anyway, it is obviously great to see an option to magnify the traffic indicators, and this will definitely come in handy on devices which have got a large screen. Then we've got the quick settings. You can configure quick pull down, right or left. Again, a quick pull down is a really quick way of getting directly into the quick settings panel. So currently I have configured quick pull down from the right edge of the status bar. So when I pull down the quick settings panel from the right edge, I don't get into the notification panel. So unlike if I swipe down from the left edge of the status bar, I will first get into the notification panel and then I will have to do another swipe to get into the quick settings panel. uh, However, on the right hand side, I can directly get into the quick settings panel because I have enabled quick pull down from the right edge. Then you can configure the brightness slider, auto brightness, brightness control. You can enable or disable them. Then we have got the weather settings. So you can for this you will have to enable the uh, high accuracy location. Your the weather won't be detected unless and until you have enabled the high accuracy location. But at times I did run into problems even when the high accuracy location mode was enabled. um, so I will enable this weather tile quickly. Okay. Yep. So even from now, as you can make out, I have already set the location to high accuracy. That's the most that's the high accuracy location mode. It's the most battery consuming location mode. And even when I have enabled the high accuracy location mode, you can configure that. You can see that the weather data is not being shown. So for that, you we actually don't have many alternatives. We can check out Yahoo Weather as well, and even now you can make out that we can't see the weather data. So the only solution to this problem is to set a custom location. And this is one of the problems which I have been experiencing in many ROMs out there lately. The weather doesn't work spontaneously when you have set when you have enabled when you haven't set any custom location and you want the weather to be shown as per the area or the region you are currently in. But unfortunately that isn't working. So you will have to go ahead and set a custom location. But again, I have come across some guys in in the XDA threads who have said that the weather was working fine for them, and there were plenty of others who opposed them and they stated that the weather wasn't working for them. And I am one of those guys who wasn't able to get the word weather option working with the high accuracy location mode. So you will have to set a custom location to get this to work. And then you can configure the condition pack, lock color, or the default one. Then you can configure the grid size of the quick settings panel. You can configure the number of small QS tiles, and then you can configure the grid size in the landscape and the portrait mode. Then we have got the custom battery tile style. So this will set the same battery icon which you have got in the status bar, and you will have a similar icon in the quick settings panel as well. Currently we had disabled the uh, battery icon, so I will just enable this. And when I choose to circle, when I select circle, you can see that the battery icon in the quick setting panel also changed to circle as well. Then we have got you can enable advanced quick setting easy toggle. So using this option you can quickly enable or disable Wi-Fi, mobile data, or Bluetooth. So you can just see that I can quickly enable mobile data from here in. But when I have disabled this option, now when I single tap to disable the mobile data, it takes me to this advanced layout, and then I will have to disable the mobile data from the top right corner. So if you want to avoid that, you can enable this option. Then we have got multiple animation styles. This is the flip animation, um, and sorry, okay, and this is the rotate animation. So you can configure that, and you can also customize the animation duration. Custom header images, you can have them, you can enable them. uh, we have got two header providers, dynamic or static. So dynamic images change throughout the day, so you will be having a different header image in the morning, afternoon, evening, and so on and so forth. While on the other hand, the static header images will remain constant throughout the day, they won't change. We have got multiple image packs in here: Octo-OS tentacles, Octo-OS nature, poly, random nature images, and wavy by Travis Hall. Uh, then you can configure the shadow header image. Well, you can see the dynamic header images do work. Then these are the installed header images which we have. This is the default image pack. This is the nature one. So beautiful set of images in here. Then we have got random nature images. Again, they are similar to what we have seen in other ROMs out there as well. Octo-OS, then Octo-OS tentacles, poly header images. So again, you can make out from the names herein that these are different images for different times of the day. And in the end, we have got the wavy header images. Yeah, and in the end, if you want to set any header image as a static header image, then all you need to do is go to that image pack and select any header image which you wish to set as the static header image, and long press on it, and then you can see that the Octo-OS header image is set as the static header. You can also configure the shadow header image setting shortcut. If you want to disable the setting shortcut, edit icon, multi-user switch, expand indicator, you can disable them. Then we have got the status bar items. So again, from here you can disable any icon which you don't wish to be shown in the status bar. uh, so say if I don't want the cellular data icon to be shown, I can simply check this off, and the cellular data icon disappears, and when I check it back in, it reappears. Similarly, you can configure that for all the other icons. And if you want to show seconds in the clock, there is an option for that as well. Then we have got the navigation bar settings. The we first up we have got some hardware key settings. So if you have got a device with the hardware keys like the Redmi Note 3, I am currently using an on-screen navigation bar to let you guys see what I am doing on the screen. Uh, so if you have got a device like the Redmi Note 3 which has the backlit keys, hardware keys, then you can configure the illumination timeout. You can configure a bunch of um, options for the power button. You can use it, press the power button to cut the call, long press for torch, and then if you want to automatically turn off the lock screen torch, you can configure that timeout limit. uh, Use the home button to answer the call, and then we've got a bunch of actions you can choose from. Long press action for the home button. So this is the list of actions which we have, and I will just select the single-handed mode on the uh, right corner of the screen. Okay, and there you can see the screen is we are now in the one-handed mode, and when I just tap on any region outside the screen, we will be able to exit the one-handed mode, and now we are in the full screen mode again. Similarly, you can configure the double tap action as well. Short press and the long press actions can also be configured for the recents key. And then we have got some settings for the volume buttons: wake device, answer call, playback control, control the ringtone volume instead of the notification one. Then we have got keyboard cursor control, and you can also reorient the volume keys when the device is rotated. And under navigation bar we get both smart bar and flink. And then we also have the dynamic navigation bar color. You can configure the portrait height of the image, the landscape height, and we also do get pulse in here. I have covered all the have covered up smart bar, pulse, and Flink in detail in my review of dirty unicorns. So I will be having a link to that down below in the description box. So in case you want to know more about smart bar, Flink, and pulse, do check that video out as well. I will be having links to that in the description box. And under multitasking you get omni switch. You can enable that. And under AOSP reasons you can configure the recents layout. This is the default mode, full screen mode. So both the navigation bar as well as the status bar will be hidden. Then you can show if you want to only show the status bar or only the navigation bar. That's up to you. Then if you want to show the clear all button, then you can do that. And we have the six location pack: top right, top left, top center, bottom right, bottom left, and bottom center. You can choose any location you want. And if you wish to use omni switch recents, you can enable this option. And these are the omni switch settings. Enable them, animate them, icon size, icon pack, um, background style, opacity, dim background, dim action button background, horizontal gravity, show memory usage, app name, buttons, button position, style, thumbnail size, revert recent apps list, asynchronous thumbnail loading. So bunch of options in here. Although I don't use omni switch myself, I prefer the stock recents layout over the omni recents. uh, so if you wish to use omni recents, the rom developers, they have given you an option for that. And in the top right corner you can view information about the Octo-OS team, the team who has built this great rom. You can visit their website, view the source code, visit their Gerrit to know the changelog, check out the XDA thread, view the awesome people who are behind the ROM, and view the supporters. And under settings, if you want to hide the launcher icon, this app is shown in the launcher as well. Here it is. So if you want to hide that launcher icon, you can do that. Okay, we'll just go back to the settings menu. Yeah, so we are done with the tentacles menu. Then we have got the display settings. So brightness level, adaptive brightness, live display, wallpaper, sleep timeout limits. Minimum is 15 seconds and the maximum is 30 minutes. Screensaver, ambient display. So from herein you can configure when should ambient display be triggered. Pick up your device, do hand wave, or pull it out from your pocket. You can configure all that. Wake on plug, expanded desktop. You can configure the font size, display size, cast. The 180 degrees rotation mode is present in here. And then we have got the options for customizing the settings dashboard. Sound settings. You can unlink the ringtone and the notification volume by pressing this switch. Uh, Increasing ringtone volume, vibrate for calls, volume steps. Under other sounds, you can enable or disable the dial pad tones, screen locking sounds, charging sounds. You can configure the vibration notification sound for the when your device is plugged in, touch sounds, volume adjustment sounds, vibrate on tap, vibration intensity can be configured as well. And then in the end, we have got the screenshot shutter sound. Battery settings. Since Octo-OS is based on LineageOS, we have got similar power settings in both the ROMs. Extreme power saver mode can be enabled. You can also automatically enable power saver when the device hits the battery percentage of 5, 15, or 25. You can customize that. Uh, Performance profile and automatic optimization. Uh, then we have got the user section. So this is something which I mention in each and every lineage or in every Nougat based ROM review that I do. Make sure that you fill up this emergency information section. So in case if you ever run into any accident, so the person who picks up your device to contact your loved ones, again, God forbid if anything happens to you, but if a situation like that arises, then the person who will try to contact your loved ones, they can check out this emergency information section, and this emergency information can be viewed on a lock screen as well. So just make sure that you fill up this section, and you can enter the name, address, blood type, allergies, medications, organ donors, medical notes. Add some contacts to the people whom you wish to be contacted in such situations, but please ensure that you fill up this information. And as I said before, this information can even be accessed on a secure lock screen. So that's the best part of that. um, and then we have got the gestures. You can jump to camera and double tap to sleep on the status bar. Security settings. Unknown sources is not enabled by default, so if you want to sideload any apps, make sure you enable that. And th- uh, from herein you can customize the lock screen message, the bottom lock screen shortcuts, display music visualizer, display media cover art, double tap to sleep anywhere, show the weather. uh, and Under pattern lock, you can customize the grid size as well. So uh, this is a great option to see. um, and in the end, we've got the developer options. Root access, the ROM is rooted by default. um, Android debugging is also enabled. The ROM does support Substratum, and if you use a beta build of Substratum, make sure you enable the force authorize every theme option. Show tabs, animation settings. Then you can configure the DPI for your device from the smallest width attribute, GPU settings, and in the end you can force allow apps on external storage and force activities to be resizable for the multi-window mode. So that's all what we have got under the developer settings. And These are the apps which we get. Audio FX, we do get the Jelly browser, but the Jelly browser appears to have been configured a bit, since the homepage is team-octos.com, and I guess they have also modified the color of the progress bar. So a couple of tweaks here and there. um, then we have got the Snapdragon camera, and the camera application will depend upon your device. uh, the Snapdragon devices have the Snapdragon camera, and certain devices which have the MediaTek chipset, such as the Android One devices, maybe they will be having the AOSP based camera application. uh, and Then we have got the clock, contacts, email, file manager. We have got the same gallery application from LineageOS, um, the Apollo Music Player, Omni Switch, phone app, and the settings app. A recorder app is present in there as well. And under settings, sounds and vibration. So if you are looking for the options of vibrate on answer, call waiting, hang up every minute, vibration, these options are present under the sounds and vibration option, which is underneath the phone application. uh, and we'll take a quick look at the quick setting tiles which we get. So these are the quick setting tiles which are enabled by default, and these are the ones which you can add on. A bunch of options in here, and the stock launcher, I guess this is the AOSP based launcher, I guess. And you can enable or disable the app suggestions, Google app if you have installed that, and the home screen rotation. And the widgets which we have the clock widget, OmniJaws widget for viewing the forecast of the next couple of days, and lastly, the wallpapers. The ROM includes the Google Wallpapers application, but only one wallpaper is present in, and this is the beautiful Octo-OS AOSP based wallpaper. And these are some others which we have. So great collection of inbuilt wallpapers, and you also have the Google wallpapers application to choose a ton of other wallpapers. And the stock wallpaper, the default wallpaper, that's really pretty as well. So uh, I guess we have covered everything up, and I don't think that I have missed out anything. So yeah, this pretty much summed up this video. So in case you like the video, hit that like button. And before I quit, I will mention a couple of things which you guys have asked me to do. So some of you wanted me to tell you about the battery life on the ROMs out there. So for those of you who want to know about the battery lives, I will say that the battery life depends upon the the device you are using, and B, how you use your device. So if you are using a device which has got a high battery capacity, like the Redmi Note 3 or the Redmi Note 4, then these are devices which have got about 4000 mAh battery. So this is a really very large battery size, and no matter how heavy a user you are, these batteries will definitely last you a day at least, or and in fact even more than that. On the other hand, if you are using something such as the Moto G, any device from the Moto G, they have got somewhere some low battery capacities, so maybe these devices will last you about a bit less than a day. And again, it really depends on how you use your device. And battery life, it's not battery life is not a characteristic of any ROM out there. All the ROMs, they are based on LineageOS. So if you want to know on how much battery life a ROM will give, you just can't actually say anything, because that entirely depends upon how you use your device and which device you are using in the first place. And also, since these ROMs are based on maybe AOSP or LineageOS, you have to check out how the battery life in those ROMs is out there. And secondly, if you wish to obtain more battery life, then you can use kernel tweaking apps out there like kernel auditor, and we have got a bunch of other apps for the same purpose. So just go ahead, take a look on how you can customize the various attributes of kernels, go and look for custom kernels, and that's how you can extend your battery life. But the most common comment which I get in my ROM reviews is that how is the battery life, how is the performance. Well, you got to understand that performance and battery life, these two aren't dependent on any ROM. They depend on the device which you are using. They are a general source code. They are the a ROM is it's just a software code, and that software code is run over maybe LineageOS or AOSP based. So what you have to understand here is that performance and battery life, they are not dependent upon uh, they are the ROM developers, they can't actually do anything about that, because all they are doing is they are just adding features or customizations on top of LineageOS or AOSP. So if you want to know on how you can enhance the performance of your device and increase the battery life, then you will have to learn more about on how to tweak your kernel. So go ahead and check out, search Google. There are tons of threads on XDA which will tell you on how you can customize the kernel settings on your device. Go and flash custom kernels, because that's the way you can enhance your performance, get more battery life, and uh, pretty much do anything with your device. So yeah, so now we are done with this review. So I hope you guys got my point regarding the battery life and performance. And there isn't anything like a best custom ROM out there. This is another question which many people ask in the comment section. There is no best custom ROM out there. Custom ROMs are like opinions of developers on how Android should be. The developers, they are really very great people, because custom ROMs are something that these guys usually build for themselves. And uh, the ROM developers, they are sharing what they have built for their own personal use. They are sharing that with us. And uh, instead of being thankful to the great developers who built various ROMs out there, I see people comparing ROMs and asking, okay, which ROM is better than the other. Well, that's not the way it is, and that's not the way it should be. Custom ROMs are opinions of people on how Android should be. So now just imagine if you like maybe say if you like a burger more than a pizza, and if you if you see someone who says, oh well, I like this more than that, okay, if you like a burger more than a pizza, okay, fine, that's your opinion. And if someone likes the other way around, that's their opinion. So but you can't obviously go ahead and uh, do a clash of your opinions, saying, and you just don't you in this case, at least, you can't say whose opinion is better, whether burger is better or the pizza, because it's the opinion of two separate people. And that's what custom ROMs are. They are just opinions of ROM developers on how Android should be. And I guess that's the way we should be treating custom ROMs out there. We shouldn't be comparing them. And instead of being thankful to the developers, if you can't be at least thankful to developers, at least respect the work that they do. That's the least you can do, because these people are sharing what they build, and they don't even charge you a penny for that. uh, you know these ROMs are available for free out there. You can grab them, install them, modify them in any way you want to. So if you can't thank developers, you can go ahead and enter into the development circuit yourself, or just don't disrespect the developers. At least if you can't respect them, you can enter into the development field. Maybe build a ROM. There are tons of tutorials out there on that as well. And build your own ROM, add your own features, and make Android your style. uh, Plenty of people have built ROMs from scratch. You can also learn that. But in the end, all I will say is that if you can't respect developers, if you can't thank developers, at least just don't disrespect them, because the people who have built this ROM, they are awesome people. Yeah, so I guess I have ranted enough for this review. um, so yeah, we are finally done with this review. So in case you like the video, hit that like button. And in case you want to get a notification whenever we upload our future ROM reviews through this channel, then do hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day, take care, and we will catch you guys in the next one.